All right, welcome to the Life and Transitions Experts Podcast. It's your host, Courtney Rollins, here with another short episode that hopefully can help you clarify some things if you're going through one of the biggest transitions in our life, and that is making sure we have adequate care in our senior years, whether it's for ourselves or for perhaps for our loved ones like our parents or someone who's in our life. Having the proper care is so important because, as we've talked about on this channel, and as I actually talked about yesterday, people are living longer and people are staying alive longer, and that's growing the population, and that's bringing different type of demands to our space and to our world, which is awesome because demands require attention and require some unique solutions. And so one thing people have noticed in the past, you've heard over the last 30, 40 years, the silver tsunami. So many folks from the baby boomers generation are going into their retirement ages. You should check out the statistics on the amount of people who are turning 65 each day. I think it's about, I don't even want to give the number because I don't want to be incorrect. However, there's a lot of folks there. And you may have to be in a place where you're trying to decide, how do I make sure I have the right care? And some of the options that are out there are usually, do I have someone who is going to support me and have care from my home? Or am I going to go to a community or a space like a residential assisted living community and get the care taken care of there? So we're going to look at some of the differences and hopefully help you make an informed decision. So let me share my screen as I do this. Bear with me. I'll put it in present mode. All right, senior home care versus residential assisted living. And so, for many folks, when they think about the senior home care and residential assisted living, when they think about residential assisted living, quite often they think of the big box, the big, huge dormitory. And it's only been in recent years that there's the stigma, I would say, behind residential assisted living spaces has changed. As a matter of fact, you'll notice that I'm even saying communities, spaces, as opposed to facilities, as Phil and Ben and those guys over at Mom's house where I actually went and trained and learned how to become a senior transition specialist. Always discuss say the word facilities is the F word. Don't use facilities when you're having conversations about senior care or senior living, because we're not talking about just facilities. We're talking about a place where someone that you love or a place where you're going to call home. And so there have been great amount of strides and changes in the residential assisting space to make them very, very awesome spaces. As a matter of fact, the gentleman that I'm working with, we've become really good friends. He's actually coming to my wedding, but I went to visit him in his new space. We bought his home. His wife passed away about 6 months ago. I helped him through probate, was able to buy his property for cash quickly. Actually bought his, well, that's on their tangent. Regardless, helped him find a new place, and went to visit him the other day, and I'm like, wow, this place is pretty cool. It actually is a mixed generation, still senior care space. So they had spaces designated for seniors, while there's still other folks in the apartment complex that were, of course, of different generations and all. So there's a lot of different models is what I'm basically saying. There's a lot of models out there. But let's look at 4 benefits. 1, the professional care. You're going to get a level of care at the residential assisted living spaces, which is quite often 24 hours. Of course, there have to be licensed care, and that could be a very soothing thing to have, to know that you're taken care of. Medication management and healthcare needs are provided by a professional, usually 24 hours. Also, a very big aspect is loneliness is a disease. Has debilitating impact, and particularly in the heart of our senior community, where maybe old acquaintances, loved ones is harder to keep those connections and all. At a residential assisted living space, quite often they have those built in, and that is an amazing tool. We're social beings. We need to stay in communication with each other. Along with that, we have to move. We have to stay active, whether we're moving in our mind or moving in our body. So having tons of different amenities are usually available at the residential assisted living spaces. And there's definitely something that you should take advantage of, and make sure your loved one takes advantage of. And of course, you're paying a lot of money for these facilities because they're pretty expensive. Took a look at old articles or blogs on the cost of senior care in North Carolina and across the nation. There's some very interesting statistics there that you may be able to look at if you want to get an idea of how much it's going to cost. But housekeeping and maintenance is definitely a part of the residential assisted living larger space because it's built in. It's like necessary for safety and for aesthetics. Now let's look at senior care. You want to stay at home. What are 4 benefits of staying at home if you're a senior or someone you love is a senior? It's personalized care. It's targeted directly to your service providers coming in. They can often be professional providers. There's different levels. There's folks who you can actually hire to come in to give you just really that social connection that you actually need, all the way to helping you with daily activities that we all have to go through, whether it's brushing our teeth, medication management, things of that nature. It's personalized to you when you're at the home. Um, and also, one very important thing is as we age and cognition may be challenged, which is not always the case. I mean, there's at any age, there's super bright folks, but the reality is that by and large, there are some folks in the community who may start having cognitive delays, and having a familiar space is very, very important. It can help ease anxiety and help make sure that safety can be more assured, I suppose. Oh, also flexibility. They're at the house. So again, flexible hours with the caregivers, the different caregivers that you're providing, whether you're actually bringing in community to make sure, or bringing yourself out or your loved one out to make sure that they're getting that aspect taken care of. It's flexible. It's up to you. So that's extremely flexible, right? And I put a question beside this. Is cost effective? However, it really depends on the level of care you're looking for. The more care, obviously, the more it's going to cost. The different type of needs you have, the more it's going to cost. So you may find it actually cost effective to be in a space where you get an all-in-one treatment, or there's awesome spaces out there that give you like a gradual, how should I say? It's almost like a campus environment where you may go into assisted living, needing very little assistance. More use there for the aspect of the community and the other things that it provides, transportation, things of that nature. But there are also spaces there that can provide even more personalized and more hands-on services as your needs change. So there's a lot to think about, lots to look at. If you need any support, if you need any support, I am a senior transitions expert, which means I can help you, connect you to things that you need related to getting into the space that can help you be taken care of, obviously. So excuse me. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me, Courtney Rollins, Estate Pro Service. Would love to help you any way I can. Gonna stop sharing now and see if does that work. Yeah, it worked. All right, awesome. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is the Life in Transitions Experts Podcast. LITE. Let your light shine. Cheers.